The views expressed on the following broadcasts do not necessarily reflect those of KHLT, Take 12 Radio, or our affiliates. The opinions on this show should not be considered as medical, psychological, or professional advice and are those of the host, co-host, and guest. Take 12 Radio and KHLT Recovery Broadcasting are not affiliated with any particular 12-step fellowship.
Here we go! Gotta get cute this morning, sweeter than a morning snack. Guess who would like some brew and make that coffee black with a little cream? Welcome to the Take 12 Recovery Radio Show, The Great Reality, with Tony J.
Good morning.
Bruce H.
Hey.
Marv R.
Howdy, howdy.
And this week, Denver W.
Good morning.
Who needs sugar and cream? Stacked on some fruit this morning. I'm snazzy as a Cadillac. I'm up, so grab your cup and let's have coffee. Lots of coffee, shots of coffee, pots of coffee.
Oh, yeah, make that coffee.
That's right. Well, welcome back to the show after 2 weeks. Tony was sick for 3 weeks for her. Tony was sick 1 week and then sick for 2 weeks. Mm-hmm. And I don't know if we're all of us are all better or not. If you're listening to this show and you've experienced what a lot of us have experienced, this thing is holding on for dear life.
It's awful. It took me forever.
Yeah.
To get over it.
Yeah. Are you over it now? Mm-hmm. You think? Yeah. Denver, you still got it.
Oh, I still got a little bit of it.
Right.
But I'm on the downhill side, I believe.
Right. Right.
Wouldn't it be uphill side?
You know what?
Not for Denver. Denver's going
down.
down.
Okay.
I'm at a pinnacle. So.
Oh.
Bruce, have you dodged the bullet with this sickness?
I have.
Yeah, you've been fortunate.
You're lucky.
Marv, how you doing? How you feeling physically?
Fine.
Yeah? Chipper?
He says it's not for him to know.
That's right.
But I did remember I left the coffee pot out there.
Well, if you want more coffee, you'll have to go get it.
No, it's okay.
So for those of you who have been suffering along with this, whatever it is that is from coast to coast, it is really gucky. Our hearts go out to you. I discovered something, and I know a lot of you have used it before, called Simply Saline, and it's a spray by Arm & Hammer that you just spray up one nostril and let it drain out the other nostril.
Oh, that's enough.
I know. Like the petty pot, I watch the commercials, I'm like, oh.
Oh, yeah, but let me tell you, it's amazing. I had this sinus headache that I could barely drive. It hurt so bad, and I used that stuff, and it was gone within 5 minutes. Yeah.
I hate having water up my nose, let alone put something up. Nose spray is one thing, because you don't see all the gross stuff come out.
The drug addict said years later.
For cold.
That's probably why I drink.
So, she's been snorting cocaine for 20 years, and now she's going to talk about, I don't like nothing on my nose.
Nothing on my nose.
No. Years ago, though, it's hard to talk and look at you, so I'm just going to point. I saw this guy, and I don't even know what type of show it was, but he put in, like, a thing up his nose, like a wash rag, and then it came out through the other side. It was nasty.
What was that sound? There it goes again. We're having the same trouble we had before. There we go. Okay. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do-do.
I should never tell a story again.
No, I've seen that before.
That?
Yeah, and it's weird. It's very weird. So, okay. Listen, I've got to bring this up because it is just so bizarre. First of all, our topic for this show is emotional sobriety. Being emotionally sober. And we're going to talk about Meyer's definition of emotional sobriety and what that entails. But let me just say that recently a whole group of people from UCLA have certainly displayed the inability to understand or comprehend emotional sobriety. And this is what they're declaring. And I don't know if any of you have seen this in the news or any of the listeners have seen this in the news. I don't care what your political flavor is. Anybody with any kind of common sense at all has got to just consider this bizarre behavior. because there is a large group of people, particularly male, who have made the statement that Donald Trump is raping America, they have decided that they are going to form a pact and have their genitals removed in front of the White House in protest.
My goodness.
Oh, I want to see that.
Because they feel that that's a symbolizing that we will not take part in the rape of America.
Oh my God.
Now, somebody
I think it's a great movie.
Somebody tell me what. I'm just at a total loss. I'm like, I could not believe what I was reading.
And this is a true story?
Oh yeah.
Oh.
And when is this taking place?
I don't know, but I'm not going to buy tickets.
No.
I would.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm the only girl in the room today, so that's probably why I'm laughing.
Oh no, it's funny.
I thought I'd heard it all. I really did. But just like so many are going to move to Canada if Donald Trump gets elected, and of course they're not moving to Canada. And Canada, by the way, saying, everybody come. Now they're saying, no, go away. It just amazes me at people's mentality. And I don't care what side of the fence you're on. Come on. You want to talk about not being emotionally sober. You know, if you're letting other people's behavior cause you to bring physical harm to yourself that's the way you're going to protest. This goes beyond burning bras and sitting on an American flag and eating your lunch. And I mean, this is just absolutely wackadoodle to the extreme. And you've got some serious mental issues if this is what you're thinking about doing.
Do they actually have a date for it?
Yeah, you'll have to look it up. I didn't.
They do?
I don't.
Oh my
just
God.
Google it. Yeah, it's bizarre. And then there's a couple of comedians. I will not mention their names because I'm not going to give them the credit. I'm not going to do that. It's ridiculous. Who are calling for during their comedy routine, and not in a comedic way, in a very serious tone, for the assassination of the current president. And I'm like, what is wrong? What? So I thought, in the spirit of emotional sobriety, these people are definitely intoxicated emotionally.
I don't know what they
Yeah. So just the bizarre behavior that goes on in our world really is nothing new. Bizarre behavior like this has been going on for centuries. It just is screaming louder than it has in a very long time. But the whole I'm going to castrate myself in front of the White House in protest of the rape of America. Come on. Anyway, I could not. Somebody get a grip. Somebody get a grip. I need to get my fluff machine. And that's my statement about all that. Anyway, moving right along. How's your week been, Denver?
I'm recouping from this cold.
You got to get that closer to you, bud.
Hi. I'm recouping from this week at the center where I'm at. Everybody seems to have the crud. Like I said, I think I'm probably on the mend, but I'm still a little bit nasal with an Oklahoma accent, I'm told. But other than that, I'm doing pretty fair today. Got a little cough, castration, emotional sobriety. That boom, didn't see it coming. So I'm going to digest for a second.
So Denver is an intern out at the Adult and Teen Challenge Center.
Yes, sir. And
primarily under the education department, which I'm the director of. And so I have just to give him kudos. Without Denver's help, it would be a whole lot harder to do the job I do. So he has voiced some desire to take part in some of our radio broadcasts. So you're going to be hearing more from Denver in the future. But he's here today. Yeah. Thank you, Denver, for joining us.
Thank you very much.
This will be your second show. you've done with us.
I bombed out on the Wolf Trivia. The other day.
Wolf Trivia.
I'm a little sad.
Denver's last name is Wolf, W-O-L-F-E.
Their
Wolf
life,
E.
their life expectancy was really sad.
I know. Yeah, they are. We did Wolf Trivia, and I guess the life expectancy of a wolf in the wild today,
Oh, yeah,
6 years.
yeah, 6 to 8 years max.
Not good.
You know, not good. Not good. Tony,
Hi.
Tony, how's your week been?
Good.
She hesitates. Have you been emotionally sober?
Praying and journaling and
Praying
a
and
lot.
journaling and that kind of thing. Bruce, how you been, buddy?
I got sober to enter back into this nonsense.
Yes, he did.
This, you know, I mean, like, so we get sober and it just doesn't stop.
The craziness?
The craziness,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
And
Absolutely bizarre.
And it's really important that that we have Christ. I'll tell you.
I know.
Think about it. You know,
Yeah.
we didn't have our faith, and this madness. This is crazy.
Yeah,
And they want me to live in this.
yeah.
So that's
Pure
why.
insanity.
Yeah, that's why our hope is not here.
Amen. Amen to that. You have any horse wisdom to give us, Marv, in this crazy world of bizarre behavior?
I'm going to have to think that over.
Okay,
for a
we'll
while.
think on that.
He told me you couldn't get out of town without a horse.
That's right. Well, good morning, Marv.
Good morning.
You're looking dapper today.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, yeah.
I do want to say a couple of things.
Yes, go right ahead.
It occurred to me while you were talking about this insaneness that's going to happen at the White House.
Yeah,
2 Thessalonians, doesn't it say in there that people will be, and this is my wording, not what the scripture says, but basically turned over to their own devices,
yes, yes,
that they will, stuff like that's going to happen.
yeah.
And the other part of it's in Romans and a couple other places, but, you know, who's in charge of the government?
Right?
Who put Trump in there?
Yeah,
And so in my mind, no matter what is coming down the pike, I have to believe that God's in control.
God's got our back.
Yep.
Yep, He does. He does. And I don't care who got elected in November. God still had our back. Has our
right,
back.
that's
and
right.
continues to have our
Yeah.
back. You know, where's your trust? And we did a show on it called Election Distraction. And you know, where are we getting distracted? It doesn't matter who gets elected. God's God. It's like the people that complain that God's been kicked out of school. God doesn't leave anywhere He doesn't want to leave. You know what I'm saying? He's God. So buck up, Brother Buzz. We got lots to do. We've come a long way, but we have a long way to go. And the topic being emotional sobriety, we're going to talk about that. We're going to get our first little break here, our only little break here. And we come back, we're going to play a little Take 12 trivia. So don't go away. We'll be back right after this.
When I got back from Iraq, I just couldn't shake the guilt that I came home and 34 other men did not. There isn't a drink or a drug out there that could touch that kind of pain. Believe me, I tried. But when I heard a Teen Challenge story on the radio, I finally decided to get help. This program did for me what nothing else seemed to be able to do. It gave me hope. Now I can finally move on and live my life in a way that honors those who lost theirs.
To locate a Teen Challenge Center near you or for more information, visit teenchallengeusa.com.
And now.
And now, it's the Quiz of the Week.
That's right, everybody. It's time for Take 12 Radio's Quiz of the Week, sponsored by that recovery magazine, the 12-Step Gazette.
Laugh now.
Visit their website at 12stepgazette.com. Now, here's the Muncie Man.
That's right. Thank you, Cecil. What are you laughing at?
I don't know. We just looked at each other and started laughing.
Tony looked at Bruce, and Bruce looked at Tony, and Tony started laughing. All right, so the quiz of the week, of course, if you get it right, you get a little horn. If you get it wrong, you get the fluff machine. All right, this week, cow trivia, moo trivia. Yes, indeedy. And so Denver and Tony are sharing a mic, so don't forget to scoot up to the microphone. Here is question number 1. Are cows as innocent as they seem? Yes?
What kind
or
of question
no?
is that?
Are cows as innocent as they seem? Are they as gentle and kind and loving as they portray themselves when you drive through the countryside?
I'm going to agree with whatever Marv said.
Marv, what do you think?
I don't think so.
Don't think so? What do you think, Bruce?
I don't think so either.
Tony?
I don't think so.
Denver?
I have to go with no. Also, they size you up pretty regularly.
Yeah?
Of course, a lot of it has to do with the breed of cows. Also,
There's different breeds?
oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
What?
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. There's definitely different breeds. Well, you guys are all correct. Your image of cows is probably similar to mine. Gentle, placid animals looking at you with those large, soft cow eyes and contently chewing their cud. But a recent article published by the Centers for Disease Control and Prevention reported about 20 people per year are killed by cows in the United States. The cows actually attack humans, ramming them, knocking them down, goring them, trampling them, and kicking them in the head, resulting in fatal injuries to the head and chest. Yeah, if they feel threatened, they will come after you, particularly if they're protecting their young.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Yeah, you bet. All right, here's number 2. Number 2, a heifer is, and here are your choices.
Okay, Marv.
I actually know this one too, I think.
A heifer is a young female cow that hasn't had a calf yet. B, a heifer is a very fat cow. Or C, a heifer is a bull that has been castrated. What do you think, Tony?
Oh, man. Now I thought I knew it. I'm going to say A.
A heifer is a young female cow that hasn't had a calf yet. What do you say there, Denver?
Well, I've been around them, and I'm going to have to go with
Microphone.
A too. I've been around them, but I'd have to guess A also.
Okay. Bruce?
A.
Marv?
A.
Yes, you guys are all correct. It is A. A heifer is a young female cow that has not had a calf yet. A heifer is not a very fat cow. So when you say so-and-so's wife is a heifer, that you're wrong.
Wrong.
Cows, okay, number 3. Cows are missing what? Here are your choices. Upper front teeth. Lower front teeth, or back or wisdom teeth. What are they missing? What do you say, Denver? Front teeth, back teeth, or wisdom teeth?
I don't know. Wisdom teeth?
Okay. What do you say there, Tony?
The back teeth.
Back teeth, Bruce?
Well, they got to chew all that stuff.
I know.
I wouldn't think that it would.
Marv knows.
I have no clue. I just don't know.
Okay, Marv, what do you think?
Back teeth.
Back teeth? Well,
Wisdom.
actually,
Oh.
it's upper front teeth. Cows don't bite because they have no upper front teeth. Instead, they have a thick, tough pad of skin on their top jaw. They curl their very large tongue around in grass, and that's how they feed and they chew their cud. So right in the front, there's no like upper front ones.
Yeah, I would think they would have needed the back teeth to chew it.
All right, and here's your last one. This is true or false.
I don't know.
Don't they throw it up too? And
We know
chew
now.
it? Yeah.
So cows,
Hey, my phone's ringing.
that's nice.
All right.
Cows, this is true or false. Cows can detect odors up to 5 miles away. What do you think, Denver?
True. Very, very true.
Oh, wait, why are you so true on that?
I just am. I watch their noses twitch. I've been around.
And they detect odors up to 5 miles away, Tony?
I don't know about 5 miles. I'd say maybe half of that, so like 2.5. But
2.5? What do you think, Bruce? 5 miles, true or false?
I don't.
I don't know.
Marv?
No other choices, huh?
Nope.
I'm going to go along with that.
Yeah, you are. You'd be right, Marv. They can actually detect odors up to 5 miles away. Yeah, definitely. Wasn't that fun?
Yeah.
Where do you get these ideas?
You know, as much as I've been around cattle and stuff, I
Yeah.
never knew they didn't have any top front.
I didn't either.
I guess I never looked.
I never paid attention to them. Well, that does our Take 12 trivia for this week. Yeah, no, I never paid attention to that.
Next state fair,
Either.
I'm gonna go look at the petting zoo. See if they like yawn.
Because
or
all the
something.
cartoons and everything, then they go moo. They have teeth in front. But I've never. Now I really have to look at that.
Yeah, but they have false teeth.
False teeth. What are you saying, Bruce?
Giving you some trivia.
Oh, okay.
I mean, like, you bring this stuff to us, and my goodness, man.
I do.
Careful, he may be denture trivia next week.
I'm with Marv. I've been around cattle quite a bit, and I've never taken the time to actually look to see if they have front teeth. And now I've got to get out
Now you gotta know.
take a look. Thank you.
Say, come here, cow. Come here. Open your mouth.
Yeah.
Say cheese.
Now, if we find one with front teeth, we're gonna have. I'm gonna have to write that website and tell them they're wrong. Okay, this week's topic is emotional sobriety. This comes from emotionalsobriety.org. Emotional sobriety is a term that describes the more complex transformation a recovering addict makes beyond attaining physical sobriety. The latter refers to giving up drugs and alcohol, a highly challenging yet fairly straightforward pursuit. Achieving emotional sobriety is more complex because it involves the ability to feel and cope with emotions, particularly those attached to drug and alcohol use. As a defense mechanism, every human being is susceptible to an unconscious drive to protect themselves from painful realities. The difference between the general population and addicts is that the latter are very good at ignoring their feelings by masking them with drugs or alcohol. Being emotionally sober means getting in touch with your emotions, whether positive or negative, and allowing yourself to feel them. Emotional sobriety means something a little different to every person in recovery. However, it generally comes down to maintaining a healthy emotional balance. It means accepting reality as it is today, in the moment, and not dwelling on past regrets or future wishes. Achieving this involves learning how to leverage proper mechanisms to deal with emotions in a healthy way. If you achieve physical sobriety, but never work on taking control of your emotions, it is likely you will relapse. And so to bring it down to very simplistic terms, this is the Monty Man's definition of emotional sobriety and the definition of emotional dependency. Here it is. Emotional sobriety, the ability to be comfortable in your own skin regardless of other people's behaviors or actions. Emotional dependency, the dependence of other people fulfilling one's expectations in order to be comfortable in one's own skin. So, having said that, it is very interesting to me that a lot of people stop using substances but never become emotionally sober. They white knuckle it. They go back to using. They go back to medicating because, first and foremost, many do not develop a healthy relationship with their creator. And where I believe the strength for true emotional sobriety comes from, because I can't muster it up on my own. I don't have the ability to become emotionally sober. In other words, to be comfortable in my own skin, regardless of what goes on around me, without the power of God in my life. At least that's been my experience. So emotional sobriety is something that I talk a lot about at the Adult and Teen Challenge Center. I ask the students out there on a regular basis, is that practicing emotional sobriety? Denver had a guy come in, I guess, this morning, right? Tell us about the pen incident.
Excuse me. Out at Teen Challenge, we are blessed with a variety of...
Swing it over to you more there, buddy.
Out at Teen Challenge, we are blessed with a variety of different flavored students. And at any one given time, there'll be 5 or 6 standing in front of the window with numerous questions, such as, someone I believe has stolen my pen.
And they're very upset.
Yes. And they're looking at me like I'm to answer this with some revelation of where their pen has gone. And my usual is, why don't you check your back pocket? And so we just get a lot of that kind of variety of question. And the topic of emotional sobriety, I guess I'm going to go off on this on my own right here.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
All right. I'm brand new. I'm about a couple years sobriety into my life here. And I'm not afraid to say that without Christ in my life, I wouldn't have that sobriety. I have, over the years, had plenty of ingrainment into my characteristics of where I loved a future trip, and I love to let the little things bother me. So recently the Lord has lifted the compulsion to drink out of me, but it still leaves me with these character flaws and everything else. So there are days that my emotional sobriety is attacked by mere little comments such as, do you know where my pen is? Or what time is the service today?
Which has been the same time.
It's the same
weeks,
time for
right.
6 months, okay? So just the little things. It's getting so much better. It really is, and especially since I understand emotional sobriety. Monty, I've taken the simplified version that you have and hung it on my wall, and I look at it daily because it really is. I have got to practice being emotionally sober during this journey in my life, and forever. I don't believe you're never going to reach that fully pinnacle of emotionally sober. I've made it. You know, there's always going to be things that bother us and wear on us, and it's not anything right now that would ever cause me to drink, but it still robs me of a little bit of the joy, I suppose. Mm-hmm. I don't know, but it's all brand new to me. I listened to a gentleman last night. I plugged in an AA speaker meeting tape, and I forgot his name, Tom D. or somebody like that, but he had a beautiful Southern accent, and I listened to him till I fell asleep talking about emotional sobriety. So to me, it's a brand new term. It's not anything that is scary to me. Getting in touch with my feelings,
right?
It's good. I'm just little things can still, even big things, set me off a little bit. But I'm stable, I believe, as I can be right now in this time of my life.
Yeah, you credit that to the power of God in your life.
I do.
Yeah,
I wasn't going to say the God word out loud, but yeah, I do.
Yeah,
I've tried it on my own for years. You know, I sick and tired of being sick and tired. Boom. You hear this stuff at AA and everything, and I've been around it, and I think, oh, that's stupid. I hear that all the time. Well, it's true. You know, I've tried and tried and tried, and the only thing that has worked is me accepting the fact that I'm powerless over this.
Right.
I really am.
Right.
And with Jesus' help, I'm walking a sobriety path now, and I'm learning a lot of my issues are deeper than, drinking was a problem. Yes, it is, but it's not my problem to the sense of some of the stuff I'm dealing with now. And it's beautiful. It's being brought to light. I'm excited about it. So
yeah. Amen. Why don't you chime in?
Oh, okay. Do you guys want to? No.
Go for it, Julie.
I wanted to be nice. Well, I think, before I was the second one of what you said. Can you repeat that, please? The second part of yours?
The definition of emotional dependency?
Yeah.
Yeah, the dependence of other people fulfilling one's expectations in order to be comfortable in one's own skin.
Yeah, until a year from when I started the show, I was that. And slowly within the last year, with the help of God coming back in my life and all that, I realized that I'm putting up with stuff I shouldn't have to put up with. Mm-hmm. And recently just enough is enough, and now I'm the second one of whatever you just said. I'm really struggling with that, but I mean, even listening to him, I won't lie. Like I just like I get this fire, and I got to be like, okay, God, just take it away. I can't do anything about it.
Mm-hmm.
And I was telling my sponsor, I was like, I don't know if that's just years of anger surfacing finally,
right,
or what, but I can't keep like lashing out at him because he will never understand.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So it's interesting. Other people's behavior that keep us in emotional intoxication, let's say, usually doesn't affect them much at all. They're not losing any sleep. We're the ones losing the sleep. You know, and what I've discovered in my own walk in emotional sobriety is, once again, it is a realization that without God, I'm even powerless over how I respond to other people's actions. I will respond in a very flesh-like, human-like way, demanding my rights. This isn't fair. God, don't you understand my circumstance? Why don't you answer my prayers? Why don't you take care of this guy? He's a horse's patootie, you know, in the whole 9 yards.
See, that's what I'm trying not to do now.
Right. Me too. And so it's a daily thing for me. I have to call on God to help me be emotionally sober throughout my day. And sometimes when the guy at the window with the pen, and I've had it up to here with 500 people complaining about the pen, you know, I have to say, you know, God, I really need your help. Because I'm just about ready to blow a gasket here, and I don't want to relapse into emotional intoxication. I want to be emotionally sober.
Yeah. And what I'll do, too, is go to the part in the big book where it says he's sick, too. How would we treat a sick friend?
Right.
And then the controlling thing after that, near like I think it's page 5 something. But I read those 2 things, and it kind of calms me down. But it's not easy. It's like people hear it be like, oh, give it to God. That's so easy. It's not.
Well, it's a nice platitude.
Yeah.
Right, but there's a lot more to, you know, giving it to God than just saying giving it to God. Bruce, you want to chime in? Or Marv, either one?
Well, you got to be able to have the belief that God is really doing something about it.
You do. So if you don't have that,
yeah,
there isn't going to be an emotional sobriety going on. So go ahead.
And there's reasons why that happens in people's lives. And we talked about it a little bit before the program. Yeah. Different things that go on, different experiences that people have, block the ability to believe that God is really going to work in their lives. And so you end up with platitudes.
Right.
People telling, well, just do this or just do that. And meanwhile, your heart and your soul are being torn apart because of these other reasons.
Sure. So it's not really helpful when somebody says, well, just pray harder. Just
I've
believe
tried
more.
It. Yeah, I've tried it. It don't work.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, I
go ahead, Mark.
Well, I just think that this stuff, I kind of feel like a hypocrite even talking about it, because I have so much unrest going on in me and have had for quite a while. And so when you told me on the phone what the topic was going to be, I thought, man alive, how can I talk about this? I don't have a clue, really. I guess I do, but it's not working.
Well, you're not alone I at all. There are times when my emotional sobriety looks like a DUI.
Right?
You know what I'm saying?
And that was me till this morning.
It's a daily thing. I just, you know, there are some days. So I got a phone call a couple of weeks ago from somebody, and my emotional sobriety went right out the window. I mean, it just, And thank goodness for my wife, who was able to kind of reel me back in and tell me to breathe and take a breath, and calm me down. But I was not an example of being emotionally sober. That's for sure. And once again, I was reminded how needy I am for His power in my life. Because what I was trying to do is I was trying to take over. Don't you know that I can control this? Which is whenever I think I can control it, that is a denial of the powerlessness that is in my. You know what I mean? I don't believe I'm powerless. When I think I can control it, I don't believe I'm powerless, and now I'm in trouble. Bruce?
Well, I've been sitting here thinking about this thing, and I think it's even bigger than we're talking about.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
I don't know that we can touch it. I know that where I'll go with this is what bothers me one day.
Yeah.
I mean, what doesn't bother me one day, the next day bothers me. And it just amazes me. And I have a spiritual advisor that tells me if I could just start to look at these things as opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
Opportunities.
That's good one.
It's very good.
To draw closer to God.
Yeah.
And to trust Him. I think it's vitally important that we learn that the road to sobriety for most of us has been through our spiritual lives. And to stop dependent upon a secular way and go with spirituality, to learn to walk with God, not just believe in Him, but get to know Him, on a daily basis.
Yeah.
Is just upside down and backwards to anything that we've ever done. People want us to go out and work on this conduct and this emotional sobriety and change it. And we found out we couldn't.
Sure.
We needed His aid. And that was the blessing for us.
Yeah.
It really, really was. And here's the part that blows me away. As much as He's already done for me and how He's entered into my life and took this obsession away and I don't want to use and drink anymore. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? He's done this for me. I still look into other things to trust in other than Him.
Right.
And this is simply put, learning to trust Him in everything. The circumstances might not change,
mm-hmm.
but our spiritual walk might.
Right.
And God doesn't always take the pain away.
No.
You know what I mean?
No.
He helps us go through it and to trust Him more. And we found out when we reached the other side that He's been with us the whole time, but it sure don't seem like it in the middle of it. Why do you think we need one another? To help one another, to edify one another, to, during these times. It's important for us to be there, but we're not supposed to be there thinking that they're transfer their dependent off one thing to another.
Yeah.
So it's just vitally important. I don't, because I'm still the emotional misfit that I was.
Sure.
Now I don't rage like I used to. Somehow I've that's been set aside. So I think he's changing me more and more. But I still can't believe in my living situation what I didn't bother me one day. The next day I'm ready to pack my stuff and get out of there. And you know what I mean? And these people are crazy.
Yeah. And another day it doesn't even faze you.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Yeah.
If I went on those decisions, Monty.
Right. If we obeyed our knee-jerk reactions, we would be all over the map.
Yeah. And I think I'm a godly man. But they're there.
Yeah.
It's who I am.
Yeah.
And all it shows me is the importance. But when it's happening, you can't talk to me. Right. Somehow I've got to get through that or turn and understand that He's there. and make the decisions based on biblical principles instead of what's going on in my little head.
That's why I love Bruce. He's so honest. Like, I needed that.
Yeah, he's the Me Too guy. He's the guy, that says, Me Too, I get it. I'm a mess. And this is where we talk about the playing field is level at the foot of the cross. Our positions are secure in him, but our condition is so messed up, and it wavers from day to day. And a lot of it depends on, can depend on what we're putting in our bodies as far as nutrition goes. It can depend on the weather. It can depend on other people's behavior. There's all sorts of things going on.
It's huge.
It is huge.
And I think that sometimes I think that addicts and alcoholics feel these emotions and these things to the 9th degree.
Yeah. So I'm going to give you an example of somebody that reeled themselves, through the power of God, reeled themselves back in to make a decision that was better than the one they wanted to make. And I'm not going to mention his name. He's an avid listener to this show. This gentleman had written me some time ago, and he was considering no longer attending a Celebrate Recovery meeting because of what somebody had said to him in regards to his political views. And he was very offended and very hurt by it, and decided or was going to make the decision not to go back. And my statement to him was, don't give that person that much power. Don't throw the baby out with the bathwater. And he decided not to do that. He decided to go back, and he was glad that he did. But I've been there. I've pulled up to 12-step support meetings before and seen somebody's car and thought to myself, you know what? Do I really want to put up with this today? And fell into the emotional dependency realm, where I was dependent on other people's actions and behaviors, or what I perceived they might be before they ever even did them, turned around and drove off, and very possibly missed something that could have been very beneficial to me. I've done that. I haven't done that in a long time. But there was a period of time at a local 12-step support meeting that I was very hurt, and Bruce knows about that period of time. And I had declared to Bruce, I'd gone to him and says, you know what, I don't think I'm coming back. And I don't know if you remember this, Bruce, but Bruce said, when the time for you to be able to leave is when you're not angry anymore. And so I kept coming back. And one day, it was like I wasn't angry anymore. I wasn't basing my joy on other people's behavior and what they were saying in the meetings or whatever at that meeting anymore. That wasn't a prerequisite to whether I came or not. And then it was okay to shift and find a new home group. And it was all right. And I remember you telling me years later, you go, I think it's okay now because you're not mad anymore. And I'm not. But I was so emotionally dependent on what other people were going to say or what my perception of them was of me, real or imagined, for me to be comfortable sitting in that room. And that's not on them. That's on me.
You bet.
That was on me. And God had to walk me through that, and teach me that. And today I run into people all the time that I don't necessarily see eye to eye with. And I don't have to go down the other aisle in the grocery store. I can go down that aisle and say, good afternoon. Yeah, I can talk to them. I can be who I am without apology. And their perception of me doesn't really matter much. But that's taken a lot of work. And I'm still not perfect at it.
Yeah, I think that what people don't understand is when you take a look at yourself, it's not that the knowledge of what we see and find when we take a look at ourselves is going to make us all right. But now we understand our need for God in our lives.
Right.
Because if we're doing this properly and we're taking a look at ourselves, then we're going to seek Him with, like he was, like I like to say, like he's a diamond ring and not an old shoe.
Not an old shoe. So Denver, swing the mic over to Denver for a minute because I want to ask him something. So Denver, as an intern at a faith-based drug and alcohol men's discipleship program of 35 plus people, when you include interns and students, you live on the property. So it's one thing to be able to go home at night away from the center. For you, that is your home. So you have ample opportunity to fall into emotional dependency, and your feelings and everything, being, the enemy of your soul, would just love to get you riled up.
Yes, sir.
But you do a pretty good job of being stable in that, from what I have seen. But I know it gets to you sometimes. Kind of, that's a challenge, right? Because you're around it constantly.
Most certainly. I'm an intern fresh. I'm only 6 months into an internship there, and when you're on premise, you pretty much step out of your door wherever you're staying.
Right.
You're on duty. So
even when you have a day off.
Even when you're on a day off.
Yeah.
And I right now don't mind volunteering to help because we are understaffed and there are things that need to be done. So my emotional sobriety, and like I said, I'm just learning the true definition of this because I didn't even really touch on it. My feelings do not get in the way like they used to, but like we said, daily I have to cry out and just say, Lord, I need a break from this. So I do take my time and step away from the facility, find a place to hide, if you want to call it that, and just rest with Him for a bit. I don't knee-jerk and react to situations like what I did when a few years ago, we'll say. I would handle the situation right then, and that's not healthy for anyone involved, especially myself.
Yeah.
So I take it, I meditate on it, I pray, and just spend some time with God before I react. And it's funny, I love all these guys. They're frustrating as heck. The Lord has blessed me in a season of growth for myself through this. I'm helping them, but I'm growing tremendously, I feel. I wake up and I'm just thankful every day for the Lord, the opportunity to get to maybe help minister to these guys through their situations. And my sobriety, I'm maintaining.
Right.
Right. It's every day. You got to adjust it. You just have to, but it's good.
What interests me about that is, do you ever have situations or emotional upheavals that are so strong that it takes more than just a few minutes or an hour away from the situation to meditate and to pray about the situation? Because I have people in my life, and I've had things in my own life where sometimes it takes a little while to get through that.
You spoke of something earlier of having others to bounce this off of. That's very important for me. I work with Monty. I work with a good group of people, and everybody's been through that program. Yeah, it takes more than, not everything's fixed with a 3-minute timeout or whatever it's called. Sometimes it takes days to dwell on this, but having another support group there with you that probably understands better than anyone else, because all of us have been around this program or through this program, really does help.
Yeah, I don't understand too well when I'm the one going through the pain.
Well,
right.
Correct. It's not.
Because you're in a fog.
Yeah.
Because of the pain.
Most certainly. But, like I said, having others around that I can quickly get to, bounce off. And I'm not the person I used to be, this knee-jerk react person.
I got that. That's beautiful.
Yeah. I can sit and look at the person for a little bit. Now, I don't know what they're thinking, but I'm thinking, all right, I got to think about this for a minute here. It's bigger than a pen question, what you're asking me, because they come in with issues that are real. And so I have always been one in my trade that I did and everything is to take my work home. Mm-hmm. And I really still do that.
Yeah, because some of these guys coming in still have families, and I'm talking about children and wives.
Oh, you bet.
Not just mothers and fathers.
They're in the middle of a family member passing. They're in the middle of finding out somebody wants a divorce, or their kids are not well, or something's going on. So everything they bring to you is a privilege in that you get to share and be a part of their life on that. But it is taxing. It's difficult to let go and let go for the moment, because you want to jump in and fix. And we've learned through the class that we do, we don't fix people, we support people.
Yeah.
Right.
It's not my job to fix them.
Right.
And I want to fix them.
Yeah.
But that's not my job.
Yeah, and I want to fix you because you're making me uncomfortable.
Yeah, I'm not happy with you about this situation.
We can't fix ourselves yet. We want to fix everybody
exactly.
else.
I want to jump in there and get you fixed so that I'll feel better about me.
That's
but
good.
yeah, to step away from it is difficult, most certainly, and especially being there on site. But praise God, I'm learning to do that, and I have good support where I'm at for myself also.
Yeah, amen. Right on. We're out of time. That went by quick.
Too quick.
Fast.
Zippity doo dah.
Fast.
Zippity a. Yeah. Well, thank you guys. Thank you very, very much. Right?
It was nice to be back, I will say. I missed my favorite hour of the week.
That was a heifer.
Was that a heifer?
Try the heifer with the bop bop bop.
Bop, 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 bop.
I miss this. Oh, do you want to say thank you, Bruce? I asked God to show me a message today, and you did that. Ooh. I'm good, Christ. I'm good. Shut up now.
Yeah.
Thank God.
All right. All right. Our closing song this week is by Kelly Z. Kelly's Lot is the group. It's called Say Yes to a Better Life. And listen, everybody, we love you. Listen, emotional sobriety isn't something that you attain and you're done with. It's something that's got to be renewed on a daily basis, sometimes several times during the day. So remember where your power is. It's not in your little finger. It's in the God who is God. And so here is Kelly Z to close us out with Say Yes to a Better Life.
Say yes to a better life. You can find the way. Give it all the best you got, day to day. Say yes to things ahead, bring your peace of mind. You deserve the best you got each and every time. Oh, say yes, yes to life. Say yes to a brighter day, yes to an open heart, to all that you can give yourself. It's the place to start. Say yes, oh, and make a choice. Turn your life around. No one else can do that for you. That's the truth I found. Oh, say yes. Oh, say yes. Yes to life. Oh, yes to life. You may feel weak, but you're stronger than you know. If you reach out for life, that's where you'll go. Oh, where you go. Say yes to a better life. You can find the way. Well, give it all the best you got, day to day. It's choices that you make, my friend, take you where you go. It's up to you, it's what you do. That's the truth I know. Oh, say yes. Oh, say yes. Oh,
Kelly Z, until our next broadcast, this is the gang, and we're wishing God's perfect serenity for you. Bye-bye now.
This morning, I'm snazzy as a Cadillac. I'm up.
This has been a broadcast of Take 12 Recovery Radio and KHLT Recovery Broadcasting.
Oh, yeah! Make that coffee black.
Here, kitty, 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 kitty.